Hello, today we're in Ludlow, Massachusetts. We're looking at the Fuller Cemetery, which is a very old cemetery in what used to be the center of Ludlow. And this land is right next to a church, and usually that's the way it happened. And the way it always happens in Massachusetts towns is that someone else owns the land next to the church, but it's a great place to put the major cemetery, and usually it's gifted by one of the pioneers to the town, and that happened in this case here. Ludlow was established in 1774, and it needed a place to bury its occupants. Now, one of two things might have happened. The person that owned this land, who was Elijah Fuller, he might have gifted it to the land in 1801 officially, but they might have most likely were burying people here anyways, and it was like a family cemetery for a while where other people in the parish he allowed to be buried here. And in 1801 he just gave it to the town of Ludlow. And so this was where the pioneers of Ludlow were buried. And inside, since it's 1774 most likely, and inside there should be a lot of brownstones, and there are. So as you sweep across, you can see the brownstones, and you can also see the marbles, especially towards the front. Now, someone's been taking care of this cemetery to a high level. In the back, since it's an old cemetery, in the back, you find footstones, and those footstones really belong in front of the stones themselves. And the way it should happen is that the headstones should point towards the west, the footstones should point towards the east. And as I look at the stones right now, the footstones are gone, many in the back, and the headstones are pointing towards the east, pointing towards the road. So you can tell someone changed them around. And that was very typical in the 1800s to 1900, that someone would mess around with the plots and put them in straight lines, take out the footstones. At least in this case, they kept a lot of them, and also position the stones so they face towards the road, which happens to be east, but they used to face towards the west. So this is a very beautiful location. Has a nice wrought iron gate around the hole. It has a nice fence and gate in two different locations. There's a gate in the back that I use to get in because it's easiest to get into that point. And not all the stones are in exact rows, and that's a good sign. So some of them were kept in family units, which is wonderful. Now, it's not an active place in terms of no new burials, probably since 1900, but someone has been taking care of it using D2 chemical compound on the stones to clean them up. Most of the stones are tablet formats, and there's only 2 obelisks inside of here. So it's a typical, very old colonial area gravestone. Now, the church along the side, this church is modern from 1980, but it looks like what the older ones looked like. I think it's the 4th rendition or edition of the church, and it kind of looks like the 2nd and 3rd one. And it made it look old, but it's not old at all. But it was established in 1774 as a congregational church called the First Church in Ludlow. All right, so this is the first of many videos at this location because we're surrounded by many beautiful things around this area. And we'll do a 360 panoramic. Thank you.